Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we'll get started. Need to share my screen now.
Wow.
All right. So we were at text number 25, finished. 25th, 6 is starting today, right?
No, 24 finished, 25th starting.
Okay. Okay. So let's start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
So welcome everyone for today's session. We are reading from text 25 of chapter 7. And let's continue. Naham prakasa sarvasya
Naham prakasha sarvasya
yogamaya samavrita
Yogamaya
yogamaya
Samarita.
samavrita
मूढोऽयं नाभिजानाति
Modo Yam Nabhijanati.
janati
लोको मम अजम् अव्ययम्.
loko
Loko
ajam
Ajam Avyayam.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami La Prabhupada ki jai.
Yes.
I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them, I am covered by my internal potency, and therefore they do not know that I am unborn and infallible. Naham prakasa sarvasya yogamaya samavrita. Mudoyam na vijanati lokamo mam azam avyayam. Purport. It may be argued that since Krishna was visible to everyone when he was present on this earth, how it can be said that he is not manifest to everyone? Right? That's an important question. That Krishna was visible to everyone, so how he is not manifesting? He was manifesting to everyone. But actually, he was not manifest to everyone. When Krishna was present there, only few people could understand him to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here, real nature people didn't knew. They knew he is a person, but they did not knew he is a Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the assembly of Kurus, when Sisupal spoke against Krishna being elected president of the assembly, Bhishma supported him and proclaimed him to be the supreme god. Similarly, the Pandavas and the few others knew that he was the supreme, but not everyone. He was not revealed to the non-devotees and the common men. Therefore, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that, but for his pure devotee, all men consider him to be like themselves. So, except his pure devotee, everyone thinks Krishna is a human. That was the understanding at the time of when Krishna was present on the planet. He was manifest only to his devotee as the reservoir of all pleasure, but to others, to an intelligent non-devotee, he was covered by his internal potency. In the prayers of Kunti in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.8.19, it is said that Lord is covered by the curtain of Yogamaya, and thus ordinary people cannot understand him. This Yogamaya curtain is also confirmed in Iso Upanishad Mantra 15, in which the devotee prays, हिरण्मयेन पात्रेण सत्यास्याफीतं मुखं तत्तत्त्वं पुष्णाम् अपूर्णो धर्मया दृश्यते. O Lord, you are the maintainer of entire universe, and the devotion service to you is the highest release principle. Therefore, I pray that you will also maintain me. Your transcendental form is covered by Yogamaya. The Brahma Jyotir is the covering of the internal potency. You may kindly remove this glowing effulgence that impede my seeing your Sachidananda Vigraha, your eternal form of bliss and knowledge. The Supreme Personality of Godhead in his transcendental form of bliss and knowledge is covered by the internal potency of Brahma Jyotir. And the less intelligent impersonalists cannot see the Supreme on this account. Also in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.7, there is this prayer by Brahma. O Supreme Personality of Godhead, O Super Soul, O Master of all mysteries, who can calculate your potency and pastime in this world? You are always expanding your internal potency, and therefore no one can understand you. Learned scientists and learned scholars can examine the atomic constitution of material world or even the planets, but still they are unable to calculate your energy and potency, although you are present before them. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is not only unborn but also avyaya, inexhaustible. His eternal form is bliss and knowledge, and his energies are all inexhaustible. Right? So Krishna, why people cannot understand Krishna? Because he is unlimited. How we can understand if something is unlimited? It's continuously expanding. The moment suppose you understood 10%, it already became 110%. Or you are trying to understand 50%, it becomes 150. Right? Magyanitimrandhasya jnananjana salakaya chacharo gurumiltam yena tasmai Sri Guruve namah Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Sthapitam yena bhutale swayam rupa kadamayam dadati sudantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Utapatakamulam Sri Gurun Vaishnavansha Shri Rupam Shagrajatam Shagralitam Shadvaitam Shavadutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sri Garuladha Sri Visakhantansha हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी परमोहंसे चा कृपा सिंधुभ्यो च वैष्णवभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर हरे कृष्ण 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 राम राम। So that is why Krishna is saying, even when Krishna was present at the time of, in the battle of Kurukshetra or in Dwaraka, most of people at that time, the contemporary people, knew Krishna as just an ordinary person. They did not knew as God, Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the boss of Brahma, Shiva, Vishnu, everything. They didn't know him. Only few people, Prabhupada is mentioning here. Who were they? Pandavas, Bhishma, and there are some more people nearby, Kunti Maharani, but others couldn't knew him. And because he was covered by the curtain of Yogamaya. He was covered by the curtain of Yogamaya. So they did not knew. All right, let's go to text 26. Anybody wants to read 26?
I will read.
Hetal
Hare
Mataji
Krishna.
taking. Okay.
Hare Krishna. Vedaham samatitya atitani vartamanani karjanaha bhavisyani bhavishyani cha bhutani mamatu vedana kashkana. O Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, and all that is happening in the present, and all that is yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me no one knows. Purport. Here is the question of personality and impersonality is clear. Here the question of personality and impersonality is clearly stated. If Krishna, the form of Supreme Personality of the Godhead, were Maya material, as the impersonalists consider him to be, then like that living entity, he would change his body and forget everything about his past life. Anyone with a material body cannot remember his past life, nor can he foretell his future life, nor can he predict the outcome of his present life. Therefore, he cannot know what is happening in the past, present, and future. Unless one is liberated from the material contamination, he cannot know the past, present, and future. Unlike the ordinary human being, Lord Krishna clearly says that he completely knows what happened in the past and what is happening in the present and what will happen in the future. In the fourth chapter, we have seen that Lord Krishna remembers instructing Vishwan, the Vivashwan, the sun god, millions of years ago. Krishna knows every living entity because he is situated in every living being's heart as a super soul. But despite his presence in every living entity as a super soul and his presence as a supreme personality of the Godhead, the the less intelligent, even if able to realize the impersonal Brahman, cannot realize Sri Krishna as a supreme person. Certainly, the transcendental body of Krishna is not perishable. He is just like sun, and Maya is like the cloud. In the material world, he can see that there is sun and there are clouds and different stars and planets. The clouds may cover all these in the sky temporarily, but this covering is only apparent to our limited vision. The sun, the moon, the star are not actually covered. Similarly, Maya cannot cover the Supreme Lord. At his intelligent potency, he is not manifest to the less intelligent class of men. As it is stated in the third version in this chapter, out of millions and millions of men, some trying to become perfect in this human form of life, and out of thousands and thousands of such perfect men, hardly one can understand what Lord Krishna is. Even if one is perfected by realization of the impersonal Brahman or localized Maha Paramatma, he cannot possibly understand the Supreme Personality of the God, Sri Krishna, without being in Krishna consciousness.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So Krishna is saying, O Arjun, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all things that are yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me, no one knows. Right? Mam tu Vedana Kashana. So isn't it? It's amazing, right? That Krishna knows everything. You remember why? Because his body doesn't change. His body is constant. Like we can remember only few hours ago what we were doing. We cannot even remember on the same day today, last year, what we were doing. Because our body had changed 1 year already. Because body is changing and we will die and everything will forget. At the time of death, gone, and in next body, don't remember anything. Because the body changed. And memory is in the body, right? So Krishna's body doesn't change. That's why he can remember. And that's why he knows everyone. How he knows everyone? Because he is a super soul. He is super soul present in everyone's heart. And whatever we are thinking, Krishna is registering everything. And he knows what we thought in the past. He knows what we are thinking now. And he knows what we will think in future. Because he's a super soul. Okay? So it's not so hard to understand. But someone who is not devotee of Krishna cannot understand this. Because they think, no, I know everything. I am this, I am that, so many things. So for them, Krishna is covered by Maya, like cloud, right? So Maya is covers the person from knowing Krishna. And to clear of Maya, to how do you clear Maya? To clear the Maya, we have to remember Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So this cloud of Maya can be penetrated by the sound vibration of Krishna. Name Krishna, Rama, Hare. This sound vibration penetrates the cloud of Maya to reach the super soul, to know Krishna. And then this is the only method. There is no other method. It's not that, okay, I have a cloud, let me spray water, remove the cloud. No, you can't do it. It's not. It's not easy. So the only way you can remove the cloud is to using the sound vibration of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So let's go 27. Who wants to read? Mataji reading. Sarvesh Prabhu reading.
Hare Krishna Guruji.
Yes,
Yes.
Prabhuji.
इच्छाद्वेष समुत्थेन द्वन्द्वमोहेन भारत सर्वभूतानि सम्मोहं सर्गयान्ति परन्तप. Translation. O Shen of Bharata, O conqueror of the foe, all living entities are born into delusion, bewildered by dualities arising from desire and hate. Purport. The real constitutional position of the living entity is that of subordination to the Supreme Lord, who is pure knowledge. When one is deluded into separation from this pure knowledge, he becomes controlled by the illusory energy and cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The illusory energy is manifested in the duality of desire and hate. Due to desire and hate, the ignorant person wants to become one with the Supreme Lord and envies Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Pure devotees who are not deluded or contaminated by desire and hate can understand that Lord Sri Krishna appears by his internal potencies. But those who are deluded by duality and nescience think that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is created by material energies. This is their misfortune. Such deluded persons symptomatically dwell in dualities of dishonor and honor, misery and happiness, woman and man, good and bad, pleasure and pain, etc., thinking this is my wife, this is my house, I am the master of this house, I am the husband of this wife. These are the dualities of delusion. Those who are so deluded by dualities are completely foolish and therefore cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
You can read next one also, Prabhu 28.
Hare Krishna. ठीक है. येषां त्वन्तगतं पापं जनानां पुण्यकर्मणां ते द्वन्द्वमोहनिर्मुक्ता भजन्ते मां दृढव्रता. Translation. Persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, and whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, are freed from the duality or delusion, and they engage themselves in my service with determination. Purport. Those eligible for elevation to the transcendental position are mentioned in this verse. For those who are sinful, atheistic, foolish, and deceitful, it is very difficult to transcend the duality of desire and hate. Only those who have passed their lives in practicing the regulative principles of religion, who have acted piously, and who have conquered his sinful reactions, can accept devotional service, and gradually rise to the pure knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then gradually they can meditate in trance on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the process of being situated on the spiritual platform. This elevation is possible in Krishna consciousness in the association of pure devotees, or in the association of great devotees, one can be delivered from delusion. It is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 552 that if one actually wants to be liberated, he must render service to the devotees. Mahat seva dwaram ahu vimukte. But one who associates with materialistic people is on the path leading to the darkest region of existence, tamodwaram yoshitam sangi sangam. All the devotees of the Lord traverse this earth just to recover the conditioned souls from their delusion. The impersonalists do not know that forgetting their constitutional position as subordinate to the Supreme Lord is the greatest violation of God's law. Unless one is reinstated in his own constitutional position, it is not possible to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead or to be fully engaged in his transcendental loving service with determination.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So to engage in Krishna's service, it means to trying to know Krishna. Who can do it? Here it's given the persons who have acted piously in previous life. So all of us, we can be sure that yes, in past life we acted piously, and even in this life, right? All right, and because of that, our sinful actions are eradicated. So we are trying to understand Krishna, right? So we are trying to get rid of our sinful reactions and become free from delusion. And then only we can engage in service of Krishna with determination. What does it mean, service with determination? So a lot of people do, sometime bhakti on Janmashtami, Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, right? Now, I mean, no offense, but now it is Navratri going on. So everyone, they forget Krishna, they are remembering Mata Harani, right? So they're kind of switching, switching the subscriptions of which god to subscribe, depending on the conditions, situations, right? So that's not determination. Determination means uninterrupted, unmotivated, without any interruption. You're determined to do bhakti, right? So that's called determination. All right, so text 29. Who wants to read? Text 29. Nagrani Mataji or Kamini Mataji, you want to read?
Prabhuji, I don't have book today, Prabhuji. I'm unable to see the screen because
Can you
of lack
see?
of sleep.
Okay. Kamini Mataji, do you want to read? Around. Okay, Hital Mataji, you can read.
I'll try, Prabhuji, on the screen.
You're muted, Hital Mataji. Yes, Nagrani Mataji, you can read next one, 30. Okay.
Jara Marana Mokshasya
No, I'm
Mama
saying, Nagrani Mataji, you can read 30,
Oh,
30th. Okay, after this.
okay, Prabhuji. Okay,
Hetal
Prabhuji.
Mataji, you are muted. You unmute. Hetal Mataji, you are muted. Yeah.
Can I read?
No.
Okay, let them read. Let them read. No issue.
Okay, Kamini Mataji, you can read.
जरा मरणो मोक्षय मामाश्रित्य हयन्ति ये ते ब्रह्म त्वदिन्दु कृत्यकृष्टम् अदित्यामकर्माचिङ्कलं चक्षिरम् intelligent person who are endeavoring for liberation from old age and death take refuge in me in devotional service. They are actually Brahman because they entirely know everything about transcendental activities. Birth, death, old age, and disease affect this material body, but not the spiritual body. There is no birth, death, old age, and disease for the spiritual body. So, one who attains a spiritual body becomes one of the associated of Supreme Personality of Godhead and engaged in internal devotional service is really liberated. Aham Brahmasmi, I am spirit. It is said that one should understand that he is Brahman, spirit soul. This Brahmana conception of life is also devotional service as described in the verse. The pure devotee are transcendently situated in the Brahmana platform and they know everything about transcendental services. For four kids of impure devotees who engage themselves in the transcendental service of the Lord achieve their respective goals, and by the grace of Supreme Lord, when they are fully Krishna conscious, they actually enjoy spiritual association with the Supreme Lord. But those who are worshipper of demigods never reach to the Supreme Lord in his supreme planet. Even the less intelligent Brahman realized person cannot reach the supreme planet of Krishna known as Goloka Vrindavan. Only person who performs activities in Krishna consciousness, Mama Astriya, are actually entitled to be called Brahmana because they are actually endeavoring to reach the Krishna planet. Such persons have no misgiving about Krishna and thus they are actually Brahman. Those who are engaged in worshipping the form of arch of the Lord, who are engaged in meditation on the Lord simply for liberation for the material bondage also know by the grace of Lord the purport of Brahman, Adi Bhuta, etc., as explained by the Lord in the next chapter.
Yes, so this is sloka, Krishna is saying that only those people who are intelligent, enduring for liberation, take refuge in Him in devotional service. So there are a lot of people trying to get liberation, but the people who are intelligent, who believe in Krishna, they take process of devotional service, bhakti yoga. And they only can entirely know everything about transcendental activities, right? So this is the last sloka of chapter 7. So Nagrani Mataji, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
साधिभूतादिदैवं नमः साधियज्ञं च ये विदुः प्रयाणकाले पुजामं ते विदुर्युक्तचेतसा. There is full consciousness of me who know me, the Supreme Lord, to be the governing principle of the material manifestation of the demigods and of all methods of sacrifice, can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even at the time of death. Purport. Persons acting in Krishna consciousness are never deviated from the path of entirely understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The transcendental association of Krishna consciousness, one can understand how the Supreme Lord is the governing principle of the material manifestation and even of the demigod. Gradually, by such transcendental association, one becomes convinced of the supreme personality of the Godhead, and at the time of death, such a Krishna conscious person can never forget Krishna. Naturally, he is thus promoted to the planet of the Supreme Lord, Goloka Vrindavan. This seventh chapter particularly explains how one can become a fully Krishna conscious person. The beginning of Krishna consciousness is association of persons who are Krishna conscious. Such association is spiritual and puts one directly in touch with the Supreme Lord, and by His grace, one can understand Krishna to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. At the same time, one can really understand the constitutional position of the living entity and how the living entity forgets Krishna and becomes entangled in material activities. By gradual development of Krishna consciousness in good association, the living entity can understand that due to forgetfulness of Krishna, he has become conditioned by the laws of material nature. He can also understand that the human form of life is an opportunity to regain Krishna consciousness and that it should be fully utilized to attain the causeless mercy of the Supreme Lord. Many subjects have been discussed in this chapter. The man in distress, the inquisitive man, the man in want of material necessities, knowledge of Brahman, knowledge of Paramatma, liberation from birth, death, and diseases, and worship of the Supreme Lord. However, he who is actually elevated in Krishna consciousness does not care for the different sources. He simply directly engages himself in activities of Krishna consciousness and thereby actually attains his constitutional position in an eternal servitor of Lord Krishna. In such a situation, he takes pleasure in hearing and glorifying the Supreme Lord in pure devotional service. He is convinced that by doing this, all his objectives will be fulfilled. This determined faith is called Dhrudavrata. And it is beginning of Bhakti Yoga or transcendental loving service. That is verdict of all scriptures. The seventh chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is the substance of conviction. Thus, and the Bhakti Vedanta purports to the seventh chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of knowledge of the Absolute. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So, this chapter, as Prabhupada was summarizing, is describing how we can know Krishna, and how we can reach him. And Krishna is telling what kind of people come to him, what kind of people don't come to him, why they come to him, and all that. So this chapter is kind of foundation for bhakti. So this sixth chapter, like 7 to 12, is like bhakti yoga, like completely dedicated for knowing the science of bhakti, science of devotional service. So from next session, we'll start chapter 8, and from there we'll continue. So chapter 8 is called Attaining the Supreme, and it has how many slokas? 28. So yeah, I think we can finish in 2-3 sessions. 3 sessions should be enough. Chapter 8. Okay. So there will be a lot of information coming in chapter 8. Actually, Krishna is gonna describe how one can reach Goloka Vrindavan, where it is located, what is the position of Lord Brahma, right? So all that is going to come in this chapter 8. All right. Any questions, comments? Hare Krishna. No?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mati.
Prabhuji, if we have time, can we just revise quickly one shloka what we have done? 5. Because all
Okay.
look very similar.
Okay, I can share. We can just look at it. Chapter 7, 25 to 60, right? 30. So we started with this one. You can see, right, my screen? So Krishna is
Yes.
saying that I am never manifested to the foolish and unintelligent. For them I am covered by my internal potency, and therefore they do not know that I am unborn and infallible. So Krishna is saying that to whom I never manifest. Even these foolish and intelligent, who are they? Those who don't believe Krishna is God. They don't even consider it. So Krishna is saying, I never manifest. Even if I'm in front of them, like Sisupal, Duryodhan, they did not understand Krishna as a god, but others who are deities like Pandavas, they can understand that, oh, Krishna is God, Bhishma, right? So that's a proof that how. Now Krishna is saying how he is proving that I am unborn and infallible, because he knows I know everything that has happened in the past. And I know everything happening in present, all thing, and everything what is going to come in future. I know all living entities, but no one knows me. So Krishna is proving that how I am unborn and infallible. Now they is saying, O sign of Bharata, conqueror of four, all living entities are born in delusion, bewildered by duality arisen from desire and hate. So when we are born in this material world, we are born in delusion because we don't know who we are, what is our relationship with God, who is God, what should I do to reach to the God. We forget everything. And we are always in duality, pain and pleasure, happiness, distress, right? Loss, gain, poor, rich. And why this comes? Because there is a desire. And when desire don't get fulfilled, we hate. We just don't like it, right? Hating means you don't like it, right? So then Krishna is saying person who have so then question comes, who can try to know Krishna? Krishna is saying who acted piously in previous life and in this life, whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, are freed from dualities of illusion. So this is the qualification to engage in the service with determination. With determination means uninterrupted, means continuous and without any motivation. Because they are serving to just please Krishna, not for any other motivation of themselves, not for money, not for anything. So then Krishna is concluding that intelligent persons, so who are intelligent person, who are endeavoring for liberation from old age and death. So there are so many people trying to avoid old age and death, right? But then Krishna, because people take medicine to don't get die, right? Because they protect from disease, the body, they are trying to protect it from old age and death. But then he says, no, 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 in devotional service. So the process should be devotional service, via which we try to avoid old age and death, which means we don't take birth. Because with the birth, old age come. With the time, the body gets old. If there is no birth, there is no old age, and there is no death because there is no birth, right? So we have to avoid the birth. How we can avoid birth? We can get transcendental body. We can reach to Goloka Vrindavana, home of Krishna, planet of Krishna. So then only we can get. So then Krishna says they are actually Brahman. They actually know what is Brahman. And they know everything about transcendental activity. So then Krishna says, those in full Krishna consciousness of me, who know me, Supreme Lord, governing principle of material manifestation of the demigods, including Matarani. Right now, people doing so many things, Navratri thing, right? But they don't know Krishna is the background. Krishna they says, Maya adhyakchena prakriti suryasne sa characharam. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta smritim. So he's saying, Krishna is saying, I am the governing principle of material manifestation. And who is this material nature? Maya, Devi Mata, right? So he is the governing principle. He is the governor. But they don't know him. They worship in Navratri something else, right? They forget Krishna. So because they are not determination. They don't have determination. They change, right? So they cannot know Krishna. The only person who knows Krishna to be everything, dependent on Krishna and of demigod, he knows that they are servant of Krishna and all the method of sacrifice can understand and know me. That because you understand that Krishna is everything, even if you know this at the time of death, then also you can understand Krishna. Suppose the whole life I never did anything, but even at the time of death, if I can know just this point, if suppose somebody is going to die and if you tell that person, you should know that Krishna is the governing principle of material manifestation. He is the owner of demigods. He is all method of sacrifice. Then even if person knows at the time of death, you can get liberation. You don't take birth again. You go to Krishna. Okay. So then now next question comes, how does this happen? What is the process? how I can really reach here to this stage. So that's the chapter 8. Okay, Mataji, does that make
Thank you so much.
sense? Okay. All right, so we'll do one round chanting. I'm going to play Hare Krishna mantra. Those of you do regular chanting, you can just do with us. And if you don't do it, definitely you should do it now. I'm going to share Srila Prabhupada audio for 1 minute, 10 minutes. Take one round, take 10 minutes. So I'm going to share that, just 10 minutes chanting, and then you will conclude the session. Okay.